Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we are unpacking the ultimate biological mystery. What is it that actually separates you from every other animal out there? I mean, if you've ever stopped to wonder how we manage to build skyscrapers and spaceships when we're so physically fragile, well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to strip away all the modern conveniences and look at the raw, wild biological paradox of what makes you, you.
Here is a quick look at our roadmap for today. We'll hit the biological blueprint, the evolutionary paradox, social genetics and backups, fourth-dimensional thinking, and finally, neuroscience in the workplace. Let's get right into it.
Section 1, the biological blueprint, DNA and the prefrontal cortex.
So, just like all mammals, we are completely hardwired by our DNA for survival. But it is crazy how simple our fundamental blueprint actually is. We have just 46 chromosomes. To put that into perspective, a cat has 38, a horse has 64, and our closest primate cousins, the chimpanzees, they have 48. From the very second of conception, lacking just 2 chromosomes compared to a chimp locks us into being 100% human. It's this tiny numerical difference, but man, it literally changes the entire game.
And that tiny genetic shift leads directly to this, the massive volume of our prefrontal cortex. Think about it. A dog's prefrontal cortex is about 7% of its neocortex. A chimp jumps up to 17%. But us humans, we absolutely dominate, at a whopping 29%. This sheer volume of brain matter is the undeniable, rock-solid scientific proof of our uniqueness. Now, deep within all that brain matter is something called Brodmann Area 10. You can think of this as the biological CEO of your brain. It's the boss. It drives uniquely human things, art, science, and complex motivation. But here is the truly wild part. This executive center doesn't actually finish growing until you are roughly 25 years old. So hey, if you made some, let's say, questionable decisions in your early 20s, you can technically blame it on a biological CEO that was quite literally still under construction.
Moving on to Section 2, the evolutionary paradox, our severe physical weakness.
Okay, so today we definitely feel like the rulers of the Earth. But if you were to drop a prehistoric human into the wild, our specs are frankly terrible. We don't have claws, no fangs, absolutely zero natural armor. In a sprint, a deer leaves us completely in the dust. In a test of raw strength, we are vastly overpowered by a cow. Yes, a cow. And against real apex predators like lions or tigers, we were totally defenseless. In the unforgiving natural food chain, early humans were strictly on the menu.
Which really brings us to the ultimate mystery, right? How in the world did a creature slower than a deer, weaker than a cow, and terrified of big cats manage to completely flip the biological script? What exact weapons did we possibly use to overcome those massive physical disadvantages?
That brings us to Section 3, social genetics and backups, unlocking our first superpower.
So the answer to that survival mystery actually lies in 2 very specific cognitive weapons. First up is social genetics, which is how we pass down information. And second is a 4D objective perspective, which is how we view ourselves. Let's look at the first one. You see, we don't just pass down biological DNA to our kids. We literally pass down entire civilizations. That is social genetics. A parent hands down technology, art, and hard-earned knowledge. We effectively hand over the entirety of human progress to the next generation, almost like a massive, secure data backup on a hard drive. It's incredible.
And this human backup system comes in 2 forms that weave together just flawlessly. First, you've got explicit knowledge. This is the visible stuff, written texts, raw data, beautifully recorded videos, things like that. Then you have tacit knowledge. This is the invisible stuff, the unspoken rules, the shared habits, the underlying culture of a group. By combining this highly visible data with that invisible culture, humanity essentially forged an unbreakable chain of evolutionary progress. The baton never gets dropped.
Let's hit Section 4, fourth-dimensional thinking, unlocking our second superpower.
Now, this is where the human brain gets truly mind-bending. We actually possess the unique ability to perform mental time travel. Unlike other animals, we aren't just stuck in the 3D world of length, width, and height. We can easily leap into the 4th dimension, which is time. We can simultaneously hold our past, our present, and our future right in our minds, viewing our entire lives as one continuous, dynamic story.
And because we aren't trapped in the immediate present, we completely transcend raw animal instinct. Instead of just blindly reacting to hunger or fear in the moment, we can effectively look down at ourselves from above. We analyze our past failures, we anticipate future outcomes, and we execute calculated, incredibly strategic decisions. This 4D perspective is, without a doubt, our greatest evolutionary weapon.
But think about the strict rules of nature for a second. The reason frogs don't just multiply to infinity is because apex predators like eagles actively control their population, right? So on a planet with 8 billion humans and literally 0 natural predators left to hunt us, who exactly is sitting at the top of our food chain? Who is keeping us in check?
The mind-blowing twist here is that humanity's apex predator is safely housed right inside our own skulls. Our massive prefrontal cortex has actually taken on the role of the ultimate controller. It forcefully suppresses our wild, instinctual, animalistic urges so that we can cooperate, build complex societies, and just create amazing things. The predator keeping us in check? It was in our heads all along.
And finally, Section 5, Neuroscience in the Workplace, Translating Paradox to Practice.
So, what does this all mean for us today? Well, if you want to develop talent in the real world, teaching superficial corporate skills just isn't going to cut it anymore. You absolutely have to understand the biological hardware running the show. The prefrontal cortex is the CPU that drives the social genetics and the 4D time travel we just talked about. If you don't understand the CPU, you really cannot optimize the software. Neuroscience is genuinely your most powerful, reproducible tool for managing teams. When you learn to decode the prefrontal cortex, you are basically getting the master key to complex workplace relationships and psychological dynamics. By choosing to work with the brain's natural mechanics rather than constantly fighting against them, you can finally unlock a person's true potential. So, the hardware sitting inside your skull is fully equipped to transcend time, back up entire civilizations, and suppress the wild animal within. The paradox of our evolution is solved, but it leaves a brand new question for your daily life. Are you letting your raw, unchecked instincts run the boardroom, or is the CEO of your brain truly in charge? Thanks so much for joining this explainer, and we will catch you next time.